Hi, and thank you for joining me on Chad Sports Talk. My name's Chad, and once again we'll dive into the world of sports. If you watched my previous video, I mentioned how OU and Texas will be leaving the Big 12 for the SEC, although no particular dates given. It's 2025, as we know, is probably the last possible date they will go. Let's bring the SEC up to 16 teams. So how's the SEC going to schedule going forward? Are they going to go to no divisions? Are they going to come up with maintain 2 divisions and just move Alabama over to the east and move Oklahoma and Texas to the west? Come up with a pod system. You do 8 conference games, 9 conference games. Now I've come up with what I call a modified pod system. This will break down the conference into 4 pods, but you will pair 2 pods each year to create your divisions, thus creating a 9-game conference schedule. This will keep a lot of key rivalries intact, as well as keep the quality of play at a high level that the SEC is known for. With this modified pod system, I break down the SEC into 4 regions: the West, North, South, and East. You'll have OU, Texas, Texas A&M, and Arkansas in the West. So you keep your Red River rivalry together, renew the Texas-Arkansas rivalry from the old Southwest days, as well as Texas and Texas A&M. As you know, this is from the old Southwest and even the Big 12. In the North, you get Missouri, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Tennessee. The latter 3 all maintain a much hated rivalry between each other, thus you keep this moving forward. In the South, you'll have LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Alabama. Alabama and LSU most recently have been a key matchup in the Western Division. The SEC, due to both programs re-emerging as elite programs once again, you keep the Egg Bowl intact, as well as an unknown outside SEC circles, Mississippi State and Alabama. This will leave Auburn, Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina in the East. Auburn, Georgia is the Deep South's oldest rivalry. You keep that intact, as well as Florida-Georgia matchup, also known as the world's greatest cocktail party, or more recently been dubbed the War for the Ore. Choice is yours. So for each pod, you'll face your opponents for 3 games, and you also get 3 lot games between the other pods, bring your total up to 6 thus far. The following is the breakdown of the matchups, beginning with the West. So look at Arkansas, they'll get Kentucky, LSU for the Golden Boot, as well as South Carolina, which is a matchup that was originally a lot cross-divisional game when they both joined in the early 90s, and SEC was the first to jump to 12. And then you get Oklahoma will renew the rivalry with Missouri from the old Big 8 days. You also get Ole Miss and Florida. Texas will get Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and Georgia, while A&M will then get Tennessee, Alabama, and Auburn. Looking at this in hindsight, you could possibly switch Vanderbilt to Tennessee. It doesn't really matter which one goes where. The North, Kentucky, we get Arkansas, as we already know, as well as Mississippi State, keeping that rivalry going. That's been a cross-divisional lockup since that began, as well as Georgia. Mizzou, of course, renew with Oklahoma. They get LSU and Auburn. Tennessee, as you know, get A&M, and then they will maintain their grudge matches with Alabama and Florida for the foreseeable future. And then Vandy will have Texas, Ole Miss, and South Carolina. Now for the South, you get Texas, Tennessee. This is for Alabama. You maintain the Iron Bowl with Auburn. This is a must-have matchup in the SEC. LSU will then get, as you know, get Arkansas, Missouri, and maintain a rivalry with Florida. Well, Ole Miss will have Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and South Carolina. Well, Mississippi State would get A&M, Kentucky, and Georgia for what I kind of call the battle for the bone, since they're both Bulldogs. And this setup keeps most rivalries going annually, minus like a few to name, like Auburn and Mississippi State, maybe Arkansas and Missouri. with each year, 2 pods, like I said, will pair up to form your division. And then you fill the rest of your schedule with those 3 games. Get your schedule up to 9 conference games. So then using the current East-West that's being used, I kind of used a play on the SEC name and came up with the South and the East. So, for example, let's take Alabama from the South and Oklahoma from the West. So you look at year 1 and 2, they could possibly match up in SEC championship. But in year 3, they're in the same division. So thus, you get a new matchup. With all that being said, I would like to thank the Helmet Project and sportslogo.net. These 2 sites are just a wealth of information, of images for any sports logos you particularly want, especially the Helmet Project. Bring out the helmets pretty much of any sports league you think of, any football league you think of, like the old World Football League, the USFL. Also the history of almost all of the helmets the university will use, including the plethora of helmets universities used recently during the year. Also, the sportslogo.net is another great site to give you a wealth of sports logos from around the world, to include like the English Premier League, as well as like World Hockey Association and baseball leagues as well. So you can check. I put the link in the description below. You can go check them out. Well, there's my idea. Let me know what you think. I know pod systems are very popular. I've seen a few out there that just despise it. This is my thought. What could happen in the future? You never know. What the SEC is going to plan once they go to 16 for football. We'll have to wait and see. I might do one for ACC and Big Ten, kind of doing an expansion for those 2 conferences to get them up to 16. I'll kind of see how things kind of go and whether or not I'll put that out there. Once again, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up button if you like, and I'll see you soon.